This pump's sole purpose is to drain the planet dry. While you sleep, while you eat, while you shit, it's here sucking up Mako. It doesn't rest, and it doesn't care. You do realize what Mako is, don't you? Mako is the lifeblood of our world. The planet bleeds green like you and me bleed red. The hell you think's gonna happen when it's all gone, huh? Answer me! You gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the planet crying out in pain? I know you can!
You really hear that?
Damn straight I do!
Get help.
Final Fantasy has always been a magical franchise. Fantastic stories, and a soundtrack so great you're nostalgic upon first listening. Nothing encapsulates this more than Final Fantasy VII. Luckily for us, a surprise hour-long demo has just dropped ahead of its release on April 10th. Has it managed to hone this further in the 23-year wait, or ruin the pedigree set way back in 1997? Here are our first impressions. Final Fantasy VII Remake opens in much the same way as the original. It contrasts the dark, revolutionary actions of Cloud, Barrett and the team against the bright flower at the heart of the city that is Aerith, or Eris depending on how you say it. If I weren't a cynical, jaded critic, I'd probably shed a tear. The beautifully rendered reimagining of Midgar, paired with the swelling symphony of music, pulls at the heartstrings in an organic and beautiful way. Its homage to the original and its choice of shots works incredibly well in its favour. Forcing you to contrast and compare the two by association is a strong move out of the gates, and it follows this up with its combat. The combat in Final Fantasy VII Remake is as expected from the trailers. It has been pushed even further into real time than 13 back in 2009 and feels distinctly different from the recent 15. It features a similar combat system, but its HUD and implementation of special moves is a delightful throwback. The HUD is that classic blue and white theme from the original, and the contrast between this old design and the new gameplay systems is a real sight to behold. It's quick, much quicker than turn-based combat, and has a very natural flow between your exploration gameplay and fighting gameplay. Rather than a Windows Movie Maker level fade into battle, it transitions smoothly, replacing your stance and giving you a new roll mechanic. Along with this is a plethora of new mechanics. If you don't find yourself utilising the roll, you can tank a small amount of damage by blocking instead. A nice risk-reward system. With the press of the triangle button, please don't argue about what the buttons are named, you can switch to a heavier mode, which offers more deadly attacks for slower movement. The entire philosophy of the game seems to be based around this opportunity cost. You can use one ATB for a special move, but in return you don't have the option to, say, use it on an item or magic. You may attack heavier, but will be slower in return. You may dodge to avoid all damage, but will take more if you miss the window. This is what fundamentally makes RPGs work. You have micro decisions constantly making your Cloud Strife feel just a little bit different. The entirety of the demo is admittedly fairly short, but it does an excellent job of grabbing people in. As someone who's played the original, I found joy in its reimagining of the Mako reactor, but someone with no experience with the franchise could pick it up fairly quickly. Every character is established: Cloud, the jaded ex-soldier; Barrett, the hot-headed revolutionary; and Aerith, the pious angel-like figure. Luckily, the story of Final Fantasy VII is so strong, it fleshes these into lovable three-dimensional characters, ironic given their polygonal form. I don't intend on giving any score or overall critiques as such as of right now. The game is subject to change, so minor nitpicks aren't of value. Of course, major issues would be, but I didn't have a single one in my playtime. If nothing is changed until release, I'll be very happy. I'd be even more happy with a free copy, wink wink. All jokes aside, give it a go. It's absolutely free and available right now. My name is James, you're watching the Nerd Stash, and thank you for watching my impressions of the Final Fantasy VII demo.